Welcome to Chapter 9 of the Rodeo Management System demo. In this chapter, we'll be talking about the reports and tools used during a rodeo. The first one we will take a look at is the draw preview. So we will go to Rodeo Reports, Draw Preview. This is the same draw that we looked at in the chapter on draw generation and the same draw that is visible to the members. For a logged-in admin, there is also a PDF button. This will generate a PDF of the draw, which you can download and save. What you'll see in the draw is, of course, organized by each event, and then listing the performance and the run order, and any re-ride stock for stock events will be shown as well. The second report we will look at is Judges Cards. We will find that under Rodeo Reports, Judges Cards. Here we select the rodeo. We select an event. In this case, I'll take barrel racing. And you can choose a performance or leave the default as it is. And as you scroll down below the table, what you can see is the options. And you can choose either layout, landscape, or portrait. We'll just leave it as portrait. And then you can choose one of the four output options. Generate this event and this performance, so only this event and only whichever performance you've selected. Generate the PDF for all the events for just this performance. Generate the PDF for all performances for this event. So in this case, it would generate performance 1 and performance 2. Or generate the PDFs for all performances and all events. So if you have 2 performances and 7 events, it will generate for all 14 combinations. So we will pick just this one as it will spend less time generating. Again, the more performance and event selections you make, the longer the generation time will take. So you may have to wait, if all performances and all events, you may have to wait a few seconds while it generates. So depending on how your browser is set up, it will display the PDF, in this case as shown by this browser. And if you want to download this PDF, simply use whatever your browser's download function is, usually up here in the right-hand corner. In this case, using Google Chrome, it would simply click this download button, and you can choose where you want to save. So one of the things to note about Judges Cards is you can display a message such as this at the top of the Judges Cards, and that is set in Rodeo Setup, Manage Events. So let's just do a quick review of where we find that. Rodeo Setup, Manage Events. And this was barrel racing that we were looking at. And if we scroll to the bottom of barrel racing, here is the note that I had set, which will show up as instructions to the judges. Now let's look at announcer sheets. So we will go to Rodeo Reports, Announcer Sheets. And we will make sure we select the rodeo. And then we have 2 options. We can choose to view as a PDF, or we can create a CSV file, which is a data file of the announcer sheet. So for this demo, we will choose View as PDF. The announcer sheet report is similar to the rodeo draw, but is sorted in a slightly different order. If your rodeo has multiple performances, as this one does, or multiple goes, the announcer sheet will show all of performance 1, and then all events, and then it will show all of performance 2 and all events. If you are using the draw sort order setting in Rodeo Setup, Manage Events, the events will be displayed in the order you set. Otherwise, they will be shown in alphabetical order. So now let's have a look at day sheets. We will go back to the admin, Rodeo reports, day sheets. And we will select the Rodeo. And then you can choose either PDF or to simply view it on screen. We will choose the PDF. This report is intended essentially as a scorecard, which can be used by parents or others to keep track during a rodeo if they wish. The report is in a similar layout and order as announcer sheets, with Performance 1 followed by Performance 2, and then the events. What it does not include is the stock column, but it does have added columns where results can be recorded. This report is available on the public side as well if you have turned on the option to show day sheets in the settings. The last report we will look at is export for SS or export for spreadsheet. So we will go to Rodeo Reports, export for spreadsheet. We will select the Rodeo, and now we have the option. We can either choose to select any one of the individual events to only output the data for that event, or we can choose to not select that option and simply export all the data. And it will generate this new button, and we click to download that, and now we'll be able to click on the file, the Excel file, and we now have an export data file that includes event information, performance, the run order, some information on the member number, the member name, the entry fee for that event, any added money for that event, whether it's a timed event, and then some scoring information such as penalty and net score, if scores have been inputted into this rodeo already, any winnings, and the stock that was assigned in the stock draw. As a quick recap, the rodeo reports we covered in this chapter are usually generated in advance of the rodeo and used on-site by those running or coordinating the rodeo events. The reports include the draw, judges' cards, announcer sheets, day sheets, and you can also export data to a spreadsheet if that is a utility that you require. That is Chapter 9 on Rodeo Reports. Up next is Chapter 10, Entering Results and Calculating Payouts. We will see you at Chapter 10.